OpenUSD was announced this past week. Stripe kind of spearheaded it, but it's a new stablecoin issuance, OUSD, and it's a very impressive set of logos and brands and companies behind it.
It's like literally everyone except for Circle and Tether.
Well, no Block.
Oh, and Block, that's true.
No Nubank, no
Robinhood,
no PayPal.
Oh wow.
No Circle, no Tether.
Yeah.
Pretty much
everybody else.
Pretty much everybody else.
Yeah.
Including Coinbase.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Now, so what is, well, it appears to be a response to Tether and USDC. I think a lot of the incumbent fintech company. Oh, I mean, because to be clear, it includes Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah, it's a
right?
big deal. And Amex and Discover, I think.
Yeah. So the traditional powerhouses are all behind this, and likely they all feel.
I'm still here, but I'm gonna plug in my computer. So keep going.
Okay, cool. They likely all feel threatened by the potential of Tether and USDC. Maybe more, both. Maybe more USDC, but certainly both.
Yeah.
Reasonable to feel threatened by that. So this appears to be a response to that. And one thing that they reported, which is a differentiator, is how the profits of the dollars held in treasuries are distributed. With Tether, they're distributed to Tether. Very profitable business.
Yeah.
With Circle, it's distributed to Circle and Coinbase, and those companies can cut deals with distribution partners, but it's, they certainly get the lion's share of the profits. And with OUSD though, the issuers, there's no issuers that take the profits. The profits are distributed to those who are providing value in distribution. And I don't know the exact formula and how that is accounted for and works, but so if Visa is doing an insane number of transactions and has a crazy number of customers, they're going to get their part of the pie.
Right.
Which
makes sense.
Which makes sense, and is certainly a more fair system, a more incentive aligned system, which is probably the better way to frame it in terms of this working in capitalism, than Tether or USDC. So it seems like they have a leg up in that. And then just the sheer number of companies and power behind those companies is a leg up. What we don't know though is like how much of this was like a company was contacted within the past week and said, "Hey, I want to put my logo on this."
Yeah.
Versus like companies have implemented this and are deploying it and marketing it and pushing it onto their customers. We don't know yet. But it does seem like with all these different like stablecoin standards and like this does seem like it has the greatest potential, and could be a big threat to USDC and Tether as a competitor, and perhaps even winner take all.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
On top of GQL.
Built on top of GQL.
Is it?
I don't know.
No, but Google's on there.
But yeah, Google's part of it, and
but
so
it's kind of aligned with that idea, right?
I agree. Google, for those that don't know what GQL is, we talked about it last summer when Google announced it.
Steve was the original GQL maximalist.
I'm a I think GQL is the right tool for this job.
Yeah.
Don't use a blockchain for this. Use Google Cloud Universal Ledger. It's far more efficient, way more economical. Provides compliance out of the box, which you need for something like a US dollar payment rails and money. And you get, Google is a credibly neutral player and has a long track record of having good uptime and stuff. So I think it's a great solution for that. It's just wholly unlike Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Like Bitcoin's very different.
Well, so I have a couple thoughts on this. My first thought is I think this really validates a lot of what we've been saying forever about open standards. To be clear, what this is, it's OpenUSD. That's the name. OUSD.
OpenUSD, but it's only as open as OpenAI is.
I see what you're
doing. It's
way more.
It's way more open than OpenAI.
It's not a single company. It's like like dozens of companies. But
because they created a new company.
yeah, exactly.
So it's Visa-like.
It's
It's like
Visa-like.
it's like Visa.
it's the Visa.
I'm just saying the
That's
word
that's an
open.
excellent-
Don't get too attached to the word open.
It's a consortium, and Visa was more like a cooperative in a way, which is like, you own what you do, which is what these is aiming for. In general, I think it's pretty reasonable. Like, I actually kind of like the idea. But what I want to stress is two things. Number one, this is them agreeing on a standard for a stable coin, not a rail. And that's a big point, because my first thought was, oh shit, because I made this point in the past. I was like, am I gonna have to walk this back? I'm like, there's no world in which Stripe and Audion are ever gonna cooperate on some crypto thing. And I was like, oh shit, this says Stripe and Audion. Like, what did I miss? I was like, okay, well, this is for the stable coin where each of them will get, whatever the treasury payments in accordance with the revenue that they drive in theory. But it doesn't mean that they're going to step away from Stripe using Tempo, or, I think they're going to issue now on, was it Solana is the big one first? They're going to issue on a bunch of these other random, as I've said in the past, shitcoin chains, and I stand by that.
Gcol
or Gcol, whatever.
Polygon
and so
on base.
It does literally nothing to invalidate the point that, we've collectively talked about, and I've been screaming about in my updates for years, which is these are all the payment networks, not the asset. The asset, fine. They can, that's competing with, Circle's offering and Tether's offering. This is saying this is another, this is doing nothing to solve the problem. They're issuing this on like 4 or 5 different intranets. Ethereum, which is conspicuously absent from the list, we think. Interesting. Solana, Tron, Gcol, Base, whatever. They are all intranets. They do not interoperate.
Spark and Bitcoin.
Well, to me, that was great, is that Lightspark was part of this. And I don't know I haven't spoken with them about this, but it would seem that they're in a really nice position, given that they're the only one in that group that I know of that does connect back to Bitcoin and the Lightning Network and Spark, that potentially they're in a really nice position to be, again, taking this asset with huge potential and market making between all of the intranets. But again, I just want to come back. This point is so damn important to me. All of the last 10 years of crypto development has nothing to do with, Bitcoin or decentralization. Like, I stand by, the only thing any of these networks ever did was confuse regulators, and that's it. There was a way for them.
It's still just serving that function, right?
Yeah. But this is my point, is like all this stuff that was like crypto is like, what is, like, this is a new asset, which is just a US dollar. And they're all going to be issued on a bunch of networks, which are not decentralized.
I bet if you have an OUSD and it's all regulated, and some of it is issued on Sol and some of it is issued on Polygon, on Base, that those will be interoperable by some centralized provider.
By who? By someone that can step in.
Stripebridge.xyz.
Exactly. By someone that can step
Isn't
in.
the guy who runs it, the guy who founded Bridge?
Yeah. Zach Abrams.
The guy who
X Square.
Okay.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is, I'm sure he'll do well. I'm sure that was part of their plan. But I think someone like Lightspark is even better positioned, at least from now, because they're also bridging into the world of like Tether on whatever Tron, or when Tether comes to, the Lightning Network, if it ever does. All of a sudden, like, my broader point is, whoever bridges to the most networks, and Bitcoin is the only thing that I know of that will bridge with everything, then they're in the best position to have the best market making opportunity.
But I think the OUSD could be a very seamless experience, despite all of the
It's true.
potential intranetty looking things, because it's just the one OUSD. I think my guess is the way this came together is all these big financial powerhouses, and they have each been asking themselves, hey, should we launch our own stablecoin?
Yeah.
And they've done the analysis and said, I don't think we're going to beat, Tether. But I think if they all come together as a network instead of as a single issuer, they could, and they can do a lot. They can do a lot of things that are really attractive. Like, they could probably share, I don't think we have clarity yet, right? But they could share rewards back in certain ways without it being obviously illegal. So there's a lot of things you can do when you actually get a network that earns relative to their contributions. Different, you could use that to beat the incumbent, and you could use it to play around with incentives in very, very different ways than we've seen yet.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's super smart. And by the way, my guess is this is much more of a threat to Circle than it is to Tether.
Yeah. Circle is down 20% the day it was announced.
So my guess is Circle only had a foothold at all because of regulatory
Yeah.
issues with Tether in the United States. I actually do think Tether has such a strong network effect in emerging countries, like basically in Latin America and Africa, that it's going to still be hard to unseat them. Not impossible, but my guess is this new standard can win the majority of volume because let's say the value weighted volume is probably in the United States and like whatever Western wealthy countries. But I do think it's still going to be hard to unseat the network effect that Tether has in Africa and Latin America and parts of Europe.
So, and I do think
guy agrees with you.
Coinbase and Circle, I think, are going to have to respond to the competitive pressure to maintain their USDC.
Well, Coinbase is already defected. I kind of feel bad for Circle.
No. I doubt. I don't think Coinbase has a cash cow in USDC. Why would they just drop that at the hat and defect?
Why did they join?
Because they're. I mean, why not? There's no cost to putting their logo on that.
Yeah.
But the issue is you only make revenue share of the treasury based on how you promote the network. I don't think it's been entirely discussed, but it's basically how much you drive usage of that, right? Whether it's holding or transaction.
That's the way
if I'm in charge of Coinbase, I put my logo on it. I participate. I follow along, but I massively promote. I want USDC to win,
right?
Because I get way more money that way.
Yeah.
And then, but if it loses, I want to hedge my bet. But also with OUSD, I don't really see how. I mean, you can you can just follow along to and join later, like a Nubank or Block or other companies that like if it takes off and gets adopted, sure. Or like what about Toast, Clover, all these different payment solutions?
Although
they can just add support later.
They might grandfather in, like there's like founding member extra privileges. To be interested, I'm curious the Block take on this, but my take when I read, and I did notice who was conspicuously absent. So like Nubank is one example. I assumed it's either because they want to issue their own stable coin and they see that as a money-making opportunity and they don't want to like have to compete there. Or in the case of Block, like I assume Block doesn't want to issue a stable coin at all. Or even like, I don't know. Actually, you would know better than me. What is the Block thinking on this?
I can't share the Block thinking on this.
Trying to get the alpha on the show, guys. Come on.
Can you hypothetically propose what Nubank might be thinking, Steve?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine Nubank was in the United States. Okay.
I think everybody who wants to launch their own stablecoin knows that it's futile. So either participate with this one or wait and see if this takes off.
Well, okay. So why do you think Nubank might not be part of this?
I don't know enough about their business to really comment.
Speculation.
One is that I don't see much cost in taking a wait and see approach. With OUSD. The main value in jumping on now is if somehow you mentioned like founding privileges or whatever, but there's like 160 logos, right? So which of those, is there like a top 10 or something that they get an advantage of being early? I heard something about like a governance model, with a dozen companies or something.
Staking.
So if there's advantage to being early and if you get into that insider group, well, that's a reason. But otherwise, just the wait and see strategy, it gives you option value.
Yeah. I mean, I think also it's not worth underplaying your point that we don't know what the hell this even means, that the logo's on there. And like these guys are all competitive. And like the fact they say they're going to play nicely, like the fact that Visa came together was kind of a minor miracle. And there's like a whole awesome book by this guy, D Hawk, who created it, called, I'm forgetting the name now, but it's like something from nothing or something along those
You can
lines.
also listen to the Acquired podcast episode on Visa. It's
nice.
a 4-hour episode.
Yeah, I should
tells you the whole
you should
listen,
story. Just listen to it on a walk. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's an
I will.
amazing story. And it's I think kind of what is playing out here again in a way. Like,
I'm
it's different, but it's philosophically similar, I think.
I'm a big fan of that guy. I mean, reading that book, which he wrote, which I thought was more of basically a philosophical treatise than a history of payments. So that was super cool. But like that was quite challenging to pull together, is my understanding. And so the fact that people have said they're going to do it, I don't know. Like we'll see, right? Let's see where this is a year
agreed.
out.